Happy New Year, everybody. This is Chief Meteorologist Brad Benovich here in Charlotte, North Carolina with your Ski Southeast update for the new year. It's finally here, and we're going to turn the corner to 2017, and the pattern is looking favorable, though early this week it is not looking good. I know a lot of folks hit the slopes today. It was kind of warm, kind of rainy, a little bit of snow mixed with some freezing drizzle, and even some sleet in spots of the southeast, but even though early this week it's going to be kind of mild, trust me, you're going to love the pattern late week. A lot to talk about today. Let's get right to what's going on right now. We've got low pressure coming out of the Gulf of Mexico for Monday. This is all rain right now, so this is going to be a soggy start to the week for Tuesday, Monday and Tuesday. So don't expect any snow, but it's this secondary front. This is an Arctic front that's going to be coming in on the back side of the system, and this could bring in some northwest flow snow, especially up in West Virginia, Maryland, maybe even North Carolina. But the bigger story is the colder air it's going to be bringing in. By Wednesday night into Thursday, we're going to see another surge of huge Arctic air moving into the southeast. In fact, you can see the temperatures over the next 10 days. You see the brief warm up, but look at that cold air lurking up there in the upper Midwest. That is below zero temperatures from Bismarck to Minneapolis, starting to push south. Again, look at the time. This is 3 o'clock in the afternoon, so you know that's really cold air. And look at it surging into the southeast by the upcoming weekend. So we've got cold air all across the southeast, really cold pattern. And this is the best cold pattern I've seen so far this winter because it actually sticks around for more than a day or two. It could be 3, 4, 5 days of this, and we're talking below freezing temperatures in the mountains of the southeast, maybe for 5 consecutive days, 24 hours a day, which is great news for snowmaking. So as we go into next Monday, a week from now, it's still cold in the southeast, and we go all the way to next Wednesday. We start to see things moderate a little bit, but we're talking maybe from Wednesday this week to Wednesday next week of seeing below freezing temperatures. Over the next 2 days, though, don't expect a lot of below freezing temperatures. Nothing on Monday, nothing on Tuesday. We really got to wait until that Arctic front arrives by Wednesday. So early on this week, not looking good. Now, looking long range, potential for snowfall here in the southeast starting to look pretty optimistic, and I am very optimistic because we're starting to see both models actually indicate some snow in the southeast going into the weekend and early next week. Now the European model, the weaker of the two models, but it still shows pretty good snow here in the southeast, even snow east of the mountains, which is getting a lot of buzz. Everybody in Virginia and North Carolina, Piedmont, really getting excited for this. We'll have to see how this unfolds. Remember, the European model takes all frozen precipitation and turns it to snow, so that could easily be the possibility of some sleet or ice. But in the mountains, you're talking good snow in North Carolina and up into the Virginias. Really good setup. Now the GFS, a little bit crazier. It goes gangbusters today with a whole bunch of snow here in the southeast. And again, it's been all over the place. 2 surges of snow, one coming in on Thursday into Friday, and then the second big surge of moisture. Look at this snow across the south. I don't know if I buy this right now. This is a really crazy pattern. So the GFS has been all over the place. And I'll be honest with you, I don't buy this in particular right now. I do think there's going to be winter weather here. But here's what's going on and why things are so wacky. We've got a big ridge. You see this big red over the Gulf of Alaska? This is Alaska and the West Coast. So this is going to force Arctic air down into the U.S. You also notice a big ridge over the Atlantic. So the fact that we've got ridge here, we call that blocking, and that is going to force cold air out of the Arctic and Canada down into the southeast. So the pattern is saying cold. The problem with trying to forecast a storm is you're trying to time out the southern branch here and then the northern branch. Are things going to sync up in the southeast for a bigger storm? That's really difficult because these little what we call short waves are fast-moving little waves of low pressure, and to time them out is pretty difficult. So when we look at the pattern, there's clearly below average heights here on the 500 millibar chart. This is typically means a storm somewhere in this area. We got a storm off the west coast. Here's the big ridge over Alaska, the big ridge over the North Atlantic. So not only is it cold, but there's clearly some kind of storm here in the southeast. The problem is it down here? Is it a split system? Is a piece of energy up here? Does it kind of come together, and do we get the storms to sync up the northern and southern branch to make a bigger storm? Those are questions I just don't know this far out. What I do know is that pattern, just that pattern recognition, is really promising for some type of winter weather. But regardless of the storm, let's take the storm out of the equation. Really cold pattern for snowmaking for maybe up to a week, which is something we have not seen in a long time. We've seen these shots of cold air for 2, 3 days at most. Now we're talking maybe 6, 7 days of cold air, which means snowmaking will be ideal, especially as we head towards the middle of the month. Remember, we got Martin Luther King weekend heading up, big ski weekend. So really good news as far as the cold there. Still keeping our eyes on that potential snowstorm. Could be something big, could be nothing. I think we're going to at least see some snow. It's just a matter of how much right now. So stay tuned. Later this week, I'll be breaking this down a little bit better as we get closer. We're in the long range of this, talking Friday, Saturday, Sunday right now. And here we are a week out. Hope you had a great New Year's. And as always, make sure you're thinking snow.